Welcome to GBP International. We are pleased to introduce to you today the Managing Director and CEO of GBP International, Mr. Volker Friedrich. Mr. Friedrich, please explain to us what GBP is about.
Well, thank you. GBP International is a consulting company which is based in Asia Pacific, and we have a very entrepreneurial approach to our business in three major business divisions we are having in our company. The first one is the consulting services and strategic advisory service unit, where we do, I would say, 60 to 65% of our business. The second most important one is our interim management unit, where we have a pool of industry experts which we are offering to our clients. And the third unit is our trading department, which is headquartered in Germany, where we facilitate business on commodity trade, technology transfer, and trade of products and services. Our typical customers are based in Europe. This is still about 80% of our business. Those customers in Europe, they are either newcomers into Asia, where they need a kind of a guiding hand to avoid the foot traps and the loopholes, and customers which are already long time in Asia and they need to solve some of their operational problems and bottlenecks. So we are there to support them. Over the last couple of years, we see more and more Asian companies, usually big public listed companies, which are entering into Europe. Those companies also approach us because we are close to them in their home country and ask them whether we can support them on their business ventures in Europe. This is related to acquisition of technology, setting up distribution channels and things like that.
Very interesting. What is the difference between GBP International and other consulting firms?
Well, of course, everybody knows there are a number of consulting firms around and everybody is doing a good job. Our difference is really that we are hands-on people. We are rolling up our sleeves. We are trying to get hands dirty and really find the root of the problem and, of course, the solution. So the way how we do that, or how we are able to do this in such a manner, is by our pool of experts. We have overall, I would say, around 500 people, of course not on our payroll, but in our vicinity. And they have been doing either their own business over the years in certain industry fields, or they have been in high-level management positions with Fortune 500 companies. Those people we are pooling together, we are setting up the project team with the right people, with the right know-how and the know-who.
And what is the difference in your judgment between the business done in Asia and Europe?
Also here we have a little bit of a different opinion than I would say common sense is suggesting. We are now in Asia for the last 12 years, and the more business we do, the more people we see, the less is a cultural difference. Because these days everybody is looking at the numbers, at the KPIs, at the visibility of a project. And here you just talk left or right or yes and no. And on the other hand, we still see, especially in family-owned businesses in Asia, that even though the numbers have to be right, the personal touch and feel, the trust and the faith you need to develop between yourself and the business partner or your client is still very important. And of course, at the end of the day, it's about the balance of, say, traditional values of Confucian family values and the needs of today's business with feasibility has to be in place with the funding requirements. So the balance is shifting towards more Western approach, but the core value of Asia remains in place. And at the end of the day, it's about finding the balance of those two.
And what kind of assignments is GBP working on today?
We have typically a number of projects which are related to market research. And market research is not just a cut and paste exercise these days. This everybody can do. We are doing industry research, and this means we are typically identifying the industry experts you are hardly able to see or to meet. This is where we have a unique know-how and a unique network, so that we really get some information which is not published or some information which you have to find between the lines. So this is a major part of our assignment. The second most important business we do these days is based on interim management assignments, where we have specially skilled people on the ground To give you an example, we do fabrication supervision for a German-based client who is outsourcing his manufacturing process. Another one is a cost-cutting exercise, a restructuring program with a huge factory in China. There we have a team of people in the factory reporting directly to the CEO of the client. And these are two examples of our business.
Okay, and what is the regional focus of most GBP's projects?
Well, also here we traditionally come from the business in Asia Pacific. The more assignments we undertake, the more we see the globalization effect. And you cannot really isolate any business anymore to one country. It's export-import driven, it's supply chain management across borders. So the majority is still in Asia, but we have more and more project assignments also in Europe, in Eastern Europe especially, in Russia, in Ukraine, in Poland. And last but not least, we recently have done some projects in the United States. So starting from Asia Pacific, where we have our roots, we became more and more global.
Very interesting. How can people interested in GBP International reach you?
Well, of course, everybody knows the internet is the media of the day. So I invite you to visit us at gbp-international.com. There you will find all the data where you can communicate with us. But also, even though the internet and the email is very common, we prefer the personal discussion. So I would be happy to meet anybody interested in GBP and our services on a personal level first, have a brainstorming together, see where we could possibly support to improve the business, because this is at the end of the day what makes us successful, and this is how clients will be happy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Friedrich, for this interview.